to see the replay. Hakim Danic has the advantage. This is where he went wide earlier on, and he's done it again. He's run wide.
He breaks so much later than Brian that time around, didn't he?
That's right, and he did. Lucas Brown, he's got it going again. That's the number 40 of Gabriel Tassini.
He's right on his tail again. If he's smart as he should be, he's certainly going to assume so.
That's right. Now, last time when
we've had a red flag.
Assalamualaikum, halo semuanya. Jumpa lagi dengan Supriyan Satria di channel Bukan Pengawal. Apa kabar teman-teman? Saya doakan kalian semua selalu dalam keadaan baik dan sehat. Lanjutan seri kedua kejuaraan Red Bull Rookies Cup yang kali ini berlangsung di sirkuit Le Mans, Perancis, Sabtu dan Minggu tanggal 10 sampai dengan tanggal 11 Mei 2025. Sayang sekali di seri kedua Le Mans Perancis ini salah satu pembalap andalan Indonesia, Veda Pratama, tidak dapat mengikuti jalannya race teman-teman, dikarenakan Veda Pratama dalam 2 minggu ke depan harus menjalani masa pemulihan cedera kaki kanan pasca terjatuh saat mengikuti kejuaraan Junior GP yang berlangsung di sirkuit Estoril, Portugal beberapa waktu yang lalu. Kita doakan saja teman-teman, semoga Veda Pratama segera pulih, dan kabarnya Veda Pratama sudah bisa tampil di seri kedua Junior GP di Spanyol pada tanggal 30 Mei mendatang teman-teman. Rekan senegara Veda Pratama di kejuaraan Red Bull Rookies Cup, Ramadhipa, di seri kedua kali ini akan mengawali balapan dari posisi ke-13. Saat ini Ramadhipa baru mengoleksi 3 poin, sedangkan Veda Pratama yang terjatuh di race kedua seri Spanyol mengoleksi 16 poin. Di puncak sementara perolehan poin, posisi pertama ada Hakim Danic dengan 40 poin, di posisi kedua Carter Thompson dengan 38 poin, sedangkan di posisi ketiga ada Brian Urtiarti dengan 25 poin. Nah, seperti apa pertarungan grup depan tanpa kehadiran Veda Pratama? Akankah Ramadhipa mampu finish di zona poin? Agar tidak penasaran, silahkan tonton ringkasan videonya berikut ini.
And he did say, yeah, he's very, very happy with how his pace feels. And for Morelli, who's a real Sunday rider, front 3 rows is good enough for him. Here's a rundown then of filling out the 3rd row of the grid. 4th row, the local hero, Guillaume Plonk is taking off. And he said his brother's name there. Then you have Tinez, Da Costa and Monignani down to 18th. Tassini, Agostinelli and Alejandro Fernandez down to 21st.
MotoGP Rookies Cup action coming up. Lights go out of the way they go. Everybody seems to get rolling well. Hakim Danic on the number 13, the pole position man, has the advantage, but slotting in behind him is Brian Uriarte.
Yeah, it's all very orderly as they get away. This is one of the main big overtaking opportunities into the first lap, though. Brian goes for the lead, and then we have Danic getting pushed out way wide. We got riders down in the background, but apart from that, the leaders look all safely through.
I think Hakim lost. Brian Uriarte has stolen the march on everybody. Hakim Danic is back into 4th place. I think he lost more place than that, but he's made some up already.
And it's Benyat Fernandez into 2nd then.
Incredible stuff. Carter Thompson in 3rd. And that's the 29 of Lucas Brown. He's got it going again. That's the number 40 of Gabriel Tassini.
Down and out, unfortunately, but Lucas Brown seemingly rejoining then. Brian Uriarte's got the jump, but will he manage to keep it? You got the 24 of Guillaume Plonk in the background, making sure what happened in the turn 2, turn 3 melee then that time around.
Okay, so I'm sure Brian Uriarte will have his head down. If he can break away, he's going to do that. He knows he can do the lap time here. He knows that perhaps the only other person, and as I say, he should be shown the sign at the end of this lap, and then be able to, next time he comes down here, be able to take the long lap penalty. He can't do it on this lap.
So down through garage, but
and he close in on Brian Uriarte. Of course, he's got to concentrate on the one hand, but he's got to have it in the back of his head that he's got to take the old Italian.
Going a little bit wide there and having to defend from your race winner last time out, Carter Thompson. Morelli is the one chasing them. David Gonzalez. Through goes Marco Morelli then in towards turn 2 and 3, but will Gonzalez get him on the cutback? Yes, he does. They're neck and neck down now towards through turns 5 and down towards...
Things are not working out at all well.
It can well be a race of two halves though, can't it? As he's now been pushed back by Leo Ramersdorfer, and he's got Christian Daniel Jr. going around the outside. Has changed his body position there, but it made me think he was crashing for a moment. Heart in mouth it was for me, as we see Dinesh going into the long lap penalty. Now, we can't touch the green, otherwise he's failed to comply with it, and he's got to do it all over again. But that looked to me like it was very squeaky clean.
Yeah,
Dinesh
1, 2, 3,
back
4.
into 5th then, behind Carter Thompson.
Out there with the second long lap penalty, so Hakim has the slipstream up the Le Mans start and finish straight. Still a huge packed grandstands here. They've all stayed to watch this incredible Rookies Cup action. The 24 of Gwilym. In second place, of course, the 31 of Guido Pugliese. And there comes Hakim on the 13, up the inside. He's got one. Look, he's got like about 4 bike lengths lead already. Yeah. And I don't think they're going to pick up the slipstream from there, are they?
Clearly then Hakim has really got something in hand in that 4th sector, isn't he? He's very, very special through there. That's one of the more start-stop parts of the circuit, isn't it?
Well, that's right, and it's hard actually to have an advantage, but stuff from Hakim. Timing is brilliantly, very nicely.
So he can stick with Hakim all the way to the last lap and then make some killer move in towards the final set of turns to overtake him for the win, perhaps.
Yeah, and it's now closed down. Well, it's actually hicking around 1.5 seconds. Let's just...
In a ref, you could already feel sort of the tension and all this pent-up G ready for it. It just seems a lot more calm and measured here in Le Mans already.
Yeah, that's right, and it's down to 1 second, almost exactly 1 second now. And so Hakim just doing everything that he needs to and nothing more, nothing less.
0.5 of a second quicker that time around was Dinesh, as we see.
But Brian is, above all else, a racer. And once Hakim Danish shows him a wheel, let's just see what the Spaniard can do.
We've also got Alejandro Fernandez is also this chasing pack, the riders he's amongst. They're running 145s, he was running 144, so if he manages to haul them back up, they could actually bring a big old podium fight towards the end of the race. But this, for now, between the 31 and the 50, is now... No, he's sitting behind Brian Uriarte. I mean, these two quite clearly... Dinesh has caught him. Will we see a kind of move down here into the likes of garage where the long lap penalty is?
It looked to me like Hakim was a bit wide there. Maybe he's pushing on too much, but he collected it okay. He didn't suffer. He maintained the advantage.
The long lap penalty for a shortcut at turn 9. I think he's towards the back of this group. How big is that one? It's all the way down to 17th. Martinez, the Venezuela. Goodness me.
That is a big pack, isn't it? Now, really, Carter Thompson and Pugliese, they've got to work together here if they're going to stand any chance of keeping ahead of that enormous pack. They could find themselves, comment that he has on the back of his helmet, no plan B. Their plan A is obviously, and up the inside comes Christian Daniel Jr., the podium man from Jerez Racing. They're running, they're touching the green, some of them. This is the leading duo. It is, of course, Hakim Danish with just a second.
Obviously, so Christian Daniel, and he could well be leading the charge to really spice up the battle for the podium. Is there? He's reached them. He's reached Pugliese and Carter Thompson. He's going to be looking up the inside very shortly. I thought it was going to be Beñat Fernandez leading this chasing pack up towards him. Motorbike racing.
And it's changed at the front. Brian Uriarte is back in front. We didn't see Hakim Danish make a mistake, unless I'm going to see the replay. Hakim Danish has the advantage. This is where he went wide earlier on, and he's done it again. He's run wide.
He breaks so much later than Brian that time around, because he will certainly take a mile, and he really has. 0.4 of a second is the gap between Brian Uriarte. 4.5 really at this point, so things are going to get starting to get real frantic. Well, Dinesh has managed to catch back onto the rear wheel of Brian Uriarte then. He's managed to calm. We are over 2/3 distance. That could be a race result.
No, I think it will be the race result. That's, well, let's hope it's, obviously the main important thing is that nobody is seriously hurt for us, but it's just that there's a mess somewhere that needs sorting out. So, yeah, as you say, Matt, I think that's probably going to be the race going off.
Oh, this is also why this has happened
right.
many times over the weekend. So riders being stretchered away, but the main issue, it seems at the moment, is actually the amount of gravel.
You just think that everything's you're planning out what's gonna happen, and the Hakim Danish had closed right. We were gonna have, well, we knew we were gonna have a long lap penalty for Hakim Danish. Brian the chance to get back in front of him, and I think the result has been called. Don't you?
Brian Uriarte then takes the victory. That's it then.
Well, poor old Hakim, he's second again, second in both races in second place again.
But he is mounting a heck of a championship challenge. So much a step above the rest. But it's Hakim versus Brian.
Hakim, they're already pushing these KTMs to the max. There's not an awful lot more they can find.
If they'll ever come and join us, there we are. So Uriarte takes the win from Dinesh Pugliese, Christian Daniel, Benyat Fernandez 5th.